I'm 56 years old, 56 years young. Married to a beautiful wife called Sally, and we have two amazing kids, Georgia Lyons and Mackenzie Lyons. 1986. In 1986, I lived at home with my parents in the country town of Pyra. Awesome place. At that time, basically my parents, or my dad particularly, had a major heart attack, and then over a series of months he actually passed away. And then not long after that, my mum had to find out that information that my mum was terminally ill with cancer. And so basically over the next 7 months, my dad changed places with my mum, and my sister and I nursed my mum. She passed away in December 1986. I lived on my own in that house, family house, for 9 months. What had happened, and during that time, it was to the point where obviously it was internally focused. I didn't realise how much it had actually, I suppose, wrecked me emotionally, and I just struggled. I struggled with the loss of losing my parents. Following that incident, I'd had a bit of counselling. I've had prayer, and I don't pretend. I tried not to pretend to be anyone different, but in the back of my mind, with probably what I still carried, there was baggage, which I thought I'd dealt with, but I didn't actually realise where it was placed, because here I am following Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, but there was still something that was hanging on, which I didn't know. In June this year, Sally lost her dad, and very suddenly, and then a few days later, her mum had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And so trying not to relive the past and trying not to think that was all going to happen again, that all those fears and all those things and situations and feelings at the time that I'd used to numb the pain, all of a sudden all come flooding back, and I was reliving them, and I wasn't coping. And obviously you could see that that it was tough. You asked me if I wanted to pray for me. That was a God moment, because that's what started this whole conversation we're having. When I said to you that maybe you should get a couple of others to pray with you, I didn't realise that where this was going to go, but it was time for something to really change. And you guys gathered around me and started praying for me. That what took place was incredible. Prayers were prayed, major things shifted in my life, and it was one point there I thought I was going to choke. But part of that, I believe, was what was attached to my soul was being moved on, and what took place after that was obviously a release of a burden, of a weight, of anxiety, of very poor self-belief, confidence, all those things that I struggle with. I really felt all that go, and I felt an incredible sense of God's peace and presence. To be able to just stand there unashamed and with no inhibitions, it was an incredible moment. To enable God to actually move, I wanted it to happen. I can hardly describe it, really. But God, the cool thing is that God is faithful, and He never ever took His hand off me. If you really want to experience true freedom and a true understanding of what it's like to be able to just stand before God, you've got to allow yourself for God to have His way, to allow Himself to move and have freedom in your life to do what He needs to do.